Welcome to the Southeast Retirement Planners podcast, where we will go beyond the balance sheet with our guests, not only to share from our personal experience as financial advisors of over 25 plus years, but also to learn from our guests about the issues and topics that are important to them. Our firm specializes in taking care of the financial plans for individuals and small businesses by helping our clients identify their individual goals and taking a conservative and ongoing approach to helping accomplish them. We are located in Hickory, North Carolina, and look forward to continuing to serve our clients and our community. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoy this week's episode. Okay, well, good news is we have a second podcast episode.
Yeah,
we weren't sure if we would have one
happening
after the first. Yeah. I hope that we'll have more in the future. And I think on the front end of this new SRP podcast, and by the way, make sure you go to our website. You can subscribe, you can find us on all the podcast channels, get all the information. All the links are on our website as well. But the purpose of this really is to bring some new content, some financially relevant information to people on a regular basis. But on the front end, we really wanted to spend the first few episodes talking about our background and kind of give people an idea of sort of how we got in the business and what we like about it or don't like about it, or how we like working there or don't like working there. So anyway, I guess we'll start with you. I'm Bob Fincher and part of the team at Southeast Retirement Planners. And I think our first episode we featured Ryan Edwards and Les Stewart. And so now it's time for Matt Starnes and I to talk a little bit about our background and share a little bit about our story and sort of what a client experience might be like. So Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you, just kind of your background and how you got in the business a little bit and that kind of thing.
Okay. Again, Matt Starnes, and grew up in the area, Caldwell County. My dad was a CPA in town. Went to college, was interested in accounting, dreadful at it, like a foreign language to me. So I pivoted to finance. Somehow graduated, and took me about 6 years.
Up at App.
Yeah. Mainly majored in snowboarding and hiking and camping and those things. But I came back and started working with my dad. And with him doing the tax planning, consulting, it was a natural fit for me to come in and head up kind of the investment side of things. So I got to see from him how solid planning, along with investments and how it may be applied to individuals and business owners. So it was a good fit there. And that's kind of my progression into the industry. I guess it started about 20 years ago, so I've been at it a while.
Started out, I'm sure it was real easy just working with your dad. He got all the clients just rolling right in.
No, we started right after the dot-com bubble burst. So definitely learned a lot. The 90s were great for the markets, but right when I got started, we had the technology bubble bursting and then 9/11. So it was definitely challenging to get started, but with him and being able to do tax planning, learning those strategies as well as the investment side of things, we learned how we could come together to create the best possible outcome for the client, and how those all that together applied markets and taxes to the client and a client's life. So I think that's where I learned more about like income planning and how you solve the need for the client versus getting like into market analytics and those things. How do we apply those to the client?
Yeah, it's interesting how things have changed so much since then. I mean, so just a little bit about my background. Grew up in Raleigh, ended up at Lenoir-Rhyne, played football there, and met my wife there, and so we've stayed, and our family's here. And from the time, actually, I ended up in a finance class. One of my favorite professor of all time, his name's Teddy Reingold, was an accounting and finance teacher, and just an amazing guy, and ended up being a great mentor of mine. But it was one of the few classes that I never missed, and always sat up front and that kind of thing. And so he was one guy that really had an impact on me. And as I started exploring how can I make this work as a business or as a career going forward out of school, ended up as an intern with a regional firm here in town, and got partnered with the branch manager at that time. And really, Carl Klein, he was a great mentor for me throughout my career. up until just a few years ago, and so was able to kind of get into the business, sort of similar to when you go in and start working with your dad.
Yeah.
Was able to get into the business in a way where I could be around other more seasoned advisors and really kind of learn the ropes a little bit. And it was interesting. I think at that time, the role of the advisor used to be a stockbroker. I mean, that's kind of what we were back then, but it was right around that time. I've been in the business still 25 years. It was right around that time where the role started to shift more, because now you had online platforms and you E-Trade and Ameritrade and whatever else where you could do all that sort of stuff on your own. You didn't need a stockbroker always. So then it became more planning. And
Sure.
I found that's been kind of interesting to see just kind of how that role has changed and really what people expect from their advisor.
Yeah, well, I've always been impressed. You bring both to the table, having that stockbroker background as well as planning, and I think that makes you truly unique. You know.
Well, for me, I think the details matter. I've been interested in the process and doing the research and kind of understanding kind of the nitty gritty, and truly through the years, I've always kind of felt like that was a tremendous value. I think my clients find that maybe less valuable than I think they should.
No, it's valuable. I mean, I find value in being able to come into your office, knock on your door, and get your take on things. For my clients as well, and that's the collaborative effort we have at the office. With
Yeah,
Ryan
I
and
think
Les
so
and
too.
Bob, I'm truly blessed to be a part of.
Well, so I've been with Southeast Retirement Planners now for going on 5 years. Been in the business for 25 plus years. And then came over with these guys, having gone through some smaller firms and some bigger firms and then independent firms. That was a real differentiator for me when I wanted to make sure that I had control over kind of what my business looked like and what my career path looked like going forward and how to best take care of my clients. The independent channel is the thing that really made the only sense to me. That way, for people who don't know, it creates a different responsibility as an advisor. Now we have this fiduciary responsibility where we have to do what's best for our clients. We don't have to push a particular product that our corporate office might do. And we still have, as an independent, it's not just the four of us in our office in Hickory. We still have the backing of LPL Financial and kind of all the regulatory oversight and all that sort of stuff, which we need because that environment changes so much. But the idea of being independent gives us more flexibility to create unique financial plans for every person because every person's different. So you don't, and I know that's something you really specialize in, is kind of making sure you take the time to understand what people's needs are.
Well, that's everything. Like, sitting down and taking the time to meet multiple times with a client, truly understanding what their need is, what we're even trying to accomplish. It's much more than just investments and returns and things, but it's really planning. And I had the opportunity to do that. I lost my father in an auto accident, and I was in the same accident. So it became very real to me in that moment when I had to take care of my mother and her finances. We all like to, think we've planned or maybe not have planned, but life happens. And in that moment, it became really real to me as to the importance of doing a financial plan. Ryan spoke last time on the last podcast of living wills, power of attorneys, a will, an estate plan, all the things. And those are important to have in place. So that became, I think for the first time, I'd always done it for clients, but it was real. I mean, I had to deal with it, and I saw, firsthand how, that planning had to work because life changes. People pass on, but it became very real. So, that's kind of a pivotal moment for me as to the planning. And I think we all go through life and have different experiences, and different things are shown to us at different times. And that was a moment for me to kind of really understand what we do for clients and the importance, kind of sit on the other side of it, if you will. I got to see it from, someone near and dear to my heart, their experience. So.
Yeah, I would like to say something like, that's a great experience to have. Of course, nobody wants to have the experience that you had having to deal with that. And I'm sure it's prepared you in a number of ways. One of the things I think is interesting, and you and I have talked about this through the years, one of the great things about Southeast Retirement Planners in our firm, the four of us get along really well together. But we're also in
Most
the
of the
same
time.
By and large.
No, we do. No,
by and large.
Yeah.
But we're also in the same season of life.
Yeah,
And so we
are.
understand, I have 3 young children, and they're just as busy as everybody else's kids. You have one son who's just as busy as everybody else's kids. And then Ryan and Les, of course, Ryan has he's got a lot of children. We don't know how many he has at this point. I think it's 7 or 8 or something. But we all understand why, the term like work-life balance is maybe a little overused, I think. It's not so much about balance. It's just about knowing, kind of prioritizing what's really important and how that can change in different seasons of your life. And I know your experience with your dad really kind of affected how you look at sort of your career path and just where you spend your time and where you spend your money and where you spend,
it's interesting.
What you like to do.
Yeah, you want to, it's funny in financial planning, we're always talking about the future, but we want to live for today, plan for today, enjoy, but we need to make a plan so that, later in life we can retire or, buy that dream house or second home or whatever it is for you. Take that vacation around the world. And that's where it's neat to meet with these clients. And that's what I love to do. Talk to them about their life, their goals, and how do we come together to help them achieve it. And when they do, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's not linear either. Like life goes, left and right, up and down. But it's nice to plan, and we will arrive there. So. And it's interesting your path too. I mean, I'm surrounded by a bunch of college athletes with you, Ryan, and Les. That team aspect. I think I can see where it plays into our firm as well, and I see that in you.
Well, I think it does. I mean, I think for us, while we all work together as a team, we can collaborate on things. I'll come by your office and get your advice on some of the things that you kind of specialize in, and we'll work together on other things with Ryan and with Les individually and collectively.
Yeah.
But we also have our own clients and kind of our own approach to doing things. And I think all of this is interesting, but I feel like it helps make a lot of what it is that we do kind of stick a little bit more. It gives it a little bit more power when we can see that I think the formula for successful financial planning, or when we call it retirement planning, I think the formula's changed a little bit over the last 15 or so years. I know you work with some older clients and then some younger clients as well, and I do as well. And I think for a lot of them, a lot of us have seen our parents or our grandparents who have just worked and worked and worked and saved and saved and saved, all so that they can finally retire and they move to the beach or they move to the mountains or they want to go play golf. And then we find out really quickly that it's really hot at the beach, or the wife doesn't like golf, or you just moved away from the Sunday school class that you've been at for 40 years or whatever. And all of a sudden it's not quite what you wanted, but you've sacrificed so much on the front end to get there. And I feel like the model has changed. You just mentioned it, kind of live for today. There's more of that as part of the financial plan now than there ever used to be.
Yeah, that's a big difference. It used to be that this end game was retirement or buying this vacation home or like crossing this finish line. And it's our planning now, it's to be financially secure today and to have that peace of mind and to do all the things, but enjoy your life now. And then, as we live longer and at different stages of our life, we're financially secure then. And bringing that to the client is very satisfying. I mean, I want that for myself. You want that as well. And that's what we realized. That's where we can come in and help.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
And truly add value.
Yeah, I think that's where the curves have crossed a little bit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so we get to do things a little bit differently than maybe we were brought up in the business. And I think it creates a different relationship. I know that's another thing that you and I kind of share in common professionally is, for me, it's not about the numbers. It's not about the statements. It's about the people and the relationships. And so at a place like Southeast Retirement Planners and doing the kind of work that we do, it sounds a little weird to say, but I get the luxury of working with people I want to work with. So every one of my clients are someone that I want to be able to spend time with. I want to invest in their lives, want to get to know them a little bit, and hopefully help them figure out some things that they don't always like to try to navigate. I was telling someone the other day that, in our business, people always ask kind of how's business, or especially with COVID and all that. That's a whole other podcast. But, how are things going? I said, it's interesting because I think I have a better shot it's somebody telling me about their latest doctor appointment and whatever ailments or rashes they have than I do somebody just telling me about their financial situation. Nobody wants to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's, we do have a family here at Southeast Retirement Planners, and we bring those clients on, and they do become family. So it's much more than just, we talk about finances, we talk about their personal life, grandkids, all the things. And then that's what's, resonates in our firm, our family atmosphere, and we bring them into that family and take care of them, and that's what I feel, and that's what I like it here.
Yeah, it's a great place to be. I'm excited about this podcast. I think it's going to give us some opportunity to really just share with our clients some of the sort of actionable items that are important financially, but also to have more conversations. And I'm looking forward to having guests on here and some of the conversations we'll have with each other or one of the four of us. And I don't know that compliance would allow for Kelly and Gail and Leslie to be in here all at one time. But if they could, they're a great part of our team, and we're kind of lucky to have them for sure.
Yeah, I look forward to sharing some good information as a kind of on a more personal level too, as what we do in the firm, bringing good information out there to our clients and the public. So it's an incredible opportunity to do that. So I'm excited about it as well.
Good deal. Yeah. Well, I think that's probably it. I don't know what else we need to cover right now, but we've got plenty of time to do more in our upcoming episodes. As always, thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. You can get all the links to everything that we have on our website, which is www.seretirementplanners.com. Podcasts will be up on our YouTube channel, as well as all the podcast catchers and platforms and stuff like that. So thanks again for another episode, and we'll see you guys soon, I hope.
All right.
Thanks. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member of FINRA, SIPC. Southeast Retirement Planners is not affiliated with LPL Financial or registered as a broker-dealer or investment advisor.